Yeah, so that's all there is to it. You can do the same thing with an equipment price adjustment, but like I say, normally there's tax and miscellaneous costs and other variables that start to come into play when it's an equipment item, and it makes hitting this round number more difficult. So if you do it with a labor price item, it makes it it usually is just the number is what it is.
Penny for penny, yeah.
It just
so
makes
basically build our whole package, add everything in, and then just add basically call it copy and paste as far as a new product, as far as a new product. Whatever, say I'm $300 over what I want my actual drop to cost.
Yep.
Then do a negative $300 labor cost adjustment, and then add that into the package, and then my package will be right where I need it to be. Exactly.
Be the dollars that you want. Hey, Steve, welcome. We'll go ahead and I was waiting for you, and you are here, so we'll go ahead and get started. What we were talking about, since I'm going to focus on packages. So one of the things that comes into play with packages, and gentlemen I've just spoken with here, this is true of some pre-wire packages that they're wanting to build, is making the package amount, the package dollar amount, equal some round number. Like if you have builder pricing and you want your pre-wire package to be, in this case, this package is $816.77. Let's say we wanted it to be $800. Well, we actually have some packages built for another client. I'm just going to drop one in. I can show you exactly how that works. If I came over to, I want to add packages. Open up on the screen. So I could go over and find a package where we have a client who's doing just that sort of thing. And so let's add this package to the system. And it's going to show up under unassigned as a location. We'll go ahead and accept these cables. So what I was saying is, so here's a cable TV D-Mark. It's 150.48. Well, we built his packages with both an equipment price adjustment and a labor adjustment. I usually use the labor adjustment amount, and what we were demonstrating over here is that you literally can take the package name and create a labor item for it, call it a package price adjustment, and then once you drop it into an actual project, you can see what you need that labor adjustment amount to be. So in this case, I could say I want this to be $150 as a round number, or maybe I want it to be $125. So what I could do is take this labor adjustment line item, and I'll just put a discount on it. Well, it's a fixed price item, and we could put a 25, what was it, 48? 25, 48 discount. And there, my package just became $125. And if you create the labor item to match each package, yeah, you're going to wind up with as many of these labor items as you have packages. But pre-wire packages, builder packages, things of that nature, even if you get 30 or 40 of them, that actually isn't that many items in the context of your adds to your labor catalog. So for Sean, does that answer your question when we think in terms of making those pre-wire packages match the dollar that you need them to be?
Yes, definitely.
Cool. So what I wanted to do is, like I say, in the context of packages, I'm going to start with just building a package the way that you would do it from the Package Explorer. So let's just go into the catalog. We'll go into Manage Packages, and you always start in this context with New. So let's open it up, and just to follow what I did this morning, I'm going to build a rack package. So let's say that we want this to be a Middle Atlantic ERK 44 base package, something like that. Now, one of the things we recommend is organizing your packages. Obviously, we deal with a whole batch of clients, but one of the things we started doing a couple of years ago, and we're actually going to begin kind of reinitiating, was creating scope of work packages. So we started building scope of work packages for Control 4, Crestron, Lutron, etc. It just helps when you're sorting through lists to have it in order. It's something you can sort to, and that's done here in the package group area. So you could just say, well, I'll go ahead and do it. Let's say I want a scope of work package for, whoops, if I could type, for Mid-Atlantic. So I'm going to go ahead and create that as a new package group. And now when I go into my package groups, I could assign it there. And I could just say that this is going to be a base package for a 44 RU equipment rack as a description. And then you've got the option of adding an image to the package if you choose to. We've got a library of images we built. That's a BGR rack, ESP, there's an ERK. So I could drop that in and that would be my image. Now, there's some options here. Obviously, most of the data in our database is accessorized. So you can check to have it prompt you for accessories, or you can turn that off. If you want to build the package without accessories, you need it to be some very specific things. You know, you want to use Sonance speakers, but you don't want the 5 flavors of Sonance back boxes and new construction rings, etc. You know for sure, I want to build this package with this speaker bracket. You could do that, and you could turn off prompting and including accessories and literally build the package item for item with what you need. On the other hand, if you want the package to basically just consolidate a number of, parent items from the database, you can leave the prompt and include accessories turned on. Another thing that you can do is that you can ignore labor in the products, and literally, and this would be a situation where you say, I want to apply $75 of labor, period. I don't want it based on bulk cable dollars per foot or anything else. I don't want it to calculate labor based on the item. I just want to put in $75 of labor. Well, you can do that. You can have the package ignore the labor pricing associated with the items in it. The other has to do with reporting. Within DTools, report definitions, there's a drop-down list of all item or none as it relates to accessories and to packages. So if I were to check this box, summarizing client reports, then in my report definition, if I have the definition set to item, then for this, it would summarize the client reports. We do that with our pre-wire packages, because we don't want all the connectors and bulk cable and brackets and all that stuff to show up as a general rule. So we uncheck summarize, or we check rather, summarizing client reports. For something like this, I might want these items to show up in the report. An example would be that Sonos package that I sent out earlier today. Here's my Sonos package that I created. If I had checked, in this report definition, I have it set to item on that setting. And what that does for me is my pre-wire package is set to consolidate in, or to summarizing client reports. So none of the package detail shows up. But on my Sonos package, I did want that to show up, so I left this unchecked. And that translates then to literally this one, I set the report definition to item, this one compresses, this one doesn't. So I can see the stuff that's in my package. So I've got a nice description for it, says what it includes, and here's my stuff showing up. So in this case, I'm gonna leave that unchecked, and then I can come in and just build my build my package. So let's just quick filter over to Middle Atlantic as manufacturer. And I'm going to build this with an ERK. So let's grab our ERK rack. Let's grab I want to expand this. You always have the option of expanding your records per page. So let's try this again, sorry. So so let's grab our ERK, our 44U rack. I think I wanted to have a power strip in it, so I'll grab a PD1415. Going to want some RSH shelves in here for maybe owner-furnished cable boxes or something. Am I blind? Where did my rack shelves go? They were here. That's weird. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put a UPS in. I had them earlier. I'm not sure what happened to my, unless I'm just looking right past them, I don't know what happened to my RSH shelf. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add those in. I think I've got a filter turned on or something. So I can build my package this way. I got my UPS. I didn't hit control. That's what I didn't do. All right, let's try this again. Sorry guys, little hiccup there. It helps to hit hit the control button if you want to pick up more than one item. All right, so we will grab our ERK again, 4425. We will pick up our PDT 1415. There we go. That should get it. And I must have done something to my RSA. I'm going to have to go look. I must have done something screwy to an RSH shelf in my demo this morning. That's a little disconcerting. Not sure what I did. And I already got my UPS, so I'll go ahead and drop those in. So, man, there is something weird going on. The gist of it is you can add items to your package, and they're going to show up here. And then I've got the option of, it comes pre-checked as approved. I'm going to make it unapproved for the moment. I'm also going to call this a test, so I don't let it get confused with other stuff. So I can save and close that into my package list. So that now gives me the ability to come over into my project, and if I open up my Package Explorer, I could sort to my newly created, let's refresh this list, little D-Tools refresh. So there's my newly created Scope of Work Mid-Atlantic group. And there's my rack. Now you'll notice that I went ahead and went to all up here. This is an unapproved package. By default, this is going to open to approved only, in which case that won't show up, and you'll be like, whoa, where'd it go? I haven't approved it yet, so I want to go to all, and it'll show up this way. And so now I've got equipment racks checked. I can pick a room location if I want to put this in the rack, in racks and power. Needed to pin this open, and I can go ahead and drag this in, and whatever it was that I dropped in there, I'll get prompted for the accessories. This is for the UPS 1000, and that'll go ahead and drop into my project. Now, so that's creating a package in the over here in the package editor. Another way you can do it, and I think this is something that really that is really effective, is you can actually build the package in a project. So if I had let's say I had a rack, I was building a rack for a project. So I've got my drawing open. I'm going to close this for a minute, and let's say, well, I want to let's do it this way. Say, well, I actually want to build my rack in my project, and I want to put those items on my drawing page. So we'll do the same thing, but we'll do it this time adding product right into the project. So we'll go here, and you know what? I'm going to take one step back for a minute, guys. This is so much easier to do from the Product Explorer. So let's reverse field. So I've got racks and power selected. I've got equipment racks. So right up here, I can hover over my ad. I'm equipment racks. It's my system. Location racks and power. That's what I want. I want to go ahead and do this with my Product Explorer. So we'll pin this open. And here I've got my ERK 4425 selected. Got my PD 1415. This is from my demo earlier this morning. There's my RSH shelf. I'm not sure what I had filtered over there in the catalog. But here's the 4 items that I wanted for this. So now I just want to pull these over into my ad location. Now I'm going to get prompted for the accessories on my ERK rack. Don't need the seismic brackets. That's a prompt, not a recommend. But I do want my hardware kit. I do want my caster base. I do want, these are all recommends, pre-checked for my LAN cable, my IP card, setup labor for smart power, and a -C for my RSH shelf. So I can go ahead and add those in and get that dropped into my system. So now if I unpin that, I can look at this and say, yeah, this is starting to look more like what I want. Say, well, but you know what? I'm going to want to have a few more of these custom rack shelves. So let's go ahead and clone a few more of those into our system, and then I could look at this and say, all right, now I want to go ahead and kind of pre-engineer this a little bit. So now is where I'd want to go ahead and bring my drawing on and grab these items. And now I want to give myself a little more real estate. Hard to do on a single screen, but so I want my rack, I want my caster base, I want my, these shelves are not going to have dimensions, so I'm not going to pull those on right now, but I do want my UPS. So I could pull those in here, and I could begin to assemble this thing. So I want my UPS down here on the bottom. I want my caster base down here. I can get that lined up. I have my power strip along here. I can look at this and say, okay, you know, maybe one other thing I want is a drawer. So I'm just going to say, well, let's go ahead and add, and this I'll use the little search window you guys are probably familiar with, but let's say I wanted a D3 drawer. So scroll down. So I'm going to do the locking drawer. Again, I want to put that in my equipment racks as a system. I want to put it in my equipment head-ins. I want it in racks and power. So I'll go ahead and add that. And that's right here. So we'll put that in. So basically you could get this drawn out. You can see, I can show you a quick example of this over on this Sonos package, which I have built up here. This package, I basically, you know, when I originally built it, I just pre-engineered it. I got my surge unit, I got my my 5-port switch, I got my boost, I got my connects. The accessories all belong to the equipment. I added in 4 pair of budget placeholder speakers. In this case, this is a basic package. So I wanted, these are just $100 each, $200 a pair. So basically, once I got it engineered, what I'm going to show you is, similar to this rack, is you can build your package right out of the project. So I could say, yeah, I've got this put together the way I want it. I want to grab these parts. So I want to put these, I want to create a package around this. So I just say, I'm going to highlight all those, and I'm going to go to Add to Package, and I have the option. I can make it a new package, or if maybe I'd already started, I'd created a package that had these items in it, but I wanted to add to it. I wanted to add some utility shelves and some other stuff, maybe even some blanks and vent panels and things of that nature. So I could add those into an existing, or in this case I say, I want to create a new package out of this. So now I'm going to call this my Mid-Atlantic ERK 44 with power. So this is going to be a 44 RU rack with UPS and power strip. Call it whatever you need to want. So another option that you have here is that items in the package can be in different location and system. If you don't check this, then you can't take, like that in that Sonos package. I would have checked this because I want to assign those speakers into different rooms. If this is unchecked, you can't do that. In the case of this rack, the stuff's all going to be together in the same room, so I could leave this unchecked, and that would be okay. Then I have my labor and summarize, and whether or not I want to make it an optional type item, I can check those here. So I'm going to go ahead and go with this. I'm going to say save and close. Now, this has just become a package in my project. So now, instead of showing up as these each being parent items, they fall underneath this package Mid-Atlantic thing that we just built. Now, that is not in the catalog. If I go back over to my catalog, I could refresh. I can filter even to my Mid-Atlantic group, D-tools and their refreshes. So even if I filter over here, that hasn't shown up yet. and I'll even go to all. So currently, I don't have that yet. What I have to do if I now want to add this to the catalog is I can right-click and come down, update to catalog packages, and now it's going to ask me, do I want to push this to the catalog? And I say, yeah, this is a package that I'm going to use not just for this job. You might package things in a job just to make it easier to clone them or put them into different rooms. But if I say this is something I'm going to use all the time, then it becomes a candidate of a package you want to put in your system. So I'll go ahead and say update and close. I'm going to push this into my catalog. So now if I come over to my catalog and refresh that filter, I should get my I will get my package. That's the one I built. Now let's go to here and here. Okay, why did you not come over? Let's try that again. Did I mess something up? Update to catalog, packages. Oh, existing packages, no, it should be there. Okay. Let's clear. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put it in my scope. All right. See, everything has a reason. I didn't assign my group. There was an option to do that. So it didn't show up. That's why it didn't show up. And this is, again, DTools. So I didn't have it assigned to a group. What I want to do is open this thing up. And if I really want to organize it in my system, what I want to do is assign it to a group. So I'm going to say here, oh, here it is, group. So this is where I organize that. And now if I had gone back to my filter for Mid-Atlantic, there it is. So there's always a reason for things in DTools, and it usually has to do with some filter or in this case, the scope of work group, etc. So that's how I can build a package in my project and push it into my catalog. So I am very quickly running out of time, and one of the things I committed to is not letting these things run long. Do either of you have any questions about what I've done thus far that I could answer for you?
I do have one. So if you have like the summarize where it just shows up as a single item on the client proposal, if the accountant says she exports, does an Excel export, will those other items show up? Added to the package?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So this gets us into report. So what I want to look at real quick is if we look at the report definition, here's where you can change that. So if I decided I want to show everything, I want to show all of my accessories and all of my package information, then I make these two prompts be all. So I actually none. So I'm going to say I don't want to summarize packages. I don't want to summarize accessories. So I save that. Now if I run the report, it'll show, regardless of what I have those prompts set to, everything's going to show up. So when this runs, so you can either just edit the report definition, for a single report, or you can create a new report definition that
shows everything, or
that shows everything. Up. So you can see here, like, so that report that I showed you earlier that looked like this, now that package looks like this. Here's all the pre-wire stuff. Here's all the accessories and everything for that Sonos package. If we scroll on down, way on down, into our head-end locations, we can begin to see, here's racks and power. So here's the Mid-Atlantic ERK 44 with power that we just created. So yeah, it can all show. Now conversely, if you're doing it for a client and you didn't want any of that stuff to show, or you wanted to do it by the default, then we just go back into that same definition, right click on it. I say I want to edit the report definition. I say I want packages to item, and I want to summarize all of my accessories. So I could do this. I could save. Another thing, just while I'm here, is that you can also look at just locations. So let's say if I click on this display filters, if I just wanted to look at my racks and power as a location, you can pick from all the different fields in the project, give it some sort of value, equal to, not equal to, whatever. In this case, I wanted to look at the racks and power location. And instead of seeing all those other rooms, I could run the report and just see my racks and power location and say, okay, you know, I've got what I want, don't have what I want, do I need to change the definition, whatever. So here, I've got my description, got my equipment showing. This package that I entered earlier today has the prompt to hide. So in this case, I just see my description, but I don't see any of this stuff. So that's the way you can use filters and report definitions to show different information just based on the audience.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So that's about all we've got time for right now. Unless you've got any other specific questions, I would try to answer. Otherwise, I'll let you guys get back to your day.
No, I'm good.
You good? Cool.
Yes,
Steve, you okay down there? Steve is muted. So, all right.
Cool. Well, thanks, Kurt.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thanks for your time. If you have any other specific questions or you want to jump on one of these calls again and have a topic, just email it to me and I'll put it on the list and try to cover it for you.
All right. Sounds good.
Great. Well, all right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.